The first stream went off without a hitch, but there was much left of the game to clear. We knew we still had to deal with a lot of hard to dodge enemies and, even worse, copyright content ID from all the licensed music. Still, we pushed on. This game would be our beacon of light in this dark month, guiding us all the way to the sequel we were waiting for. Hello everyone, welcome back to Alan Wake. The game is not on screen, that's not good. Hold on, why is that? There we go. Okay, so last stream we played the first 2 episodes of Alan Wake. Nightmare and... whatever the second chapter is called. The third one is called Ransom, we know that. Hello SK Winchester, hello Moto. So the aim today is to play through at least 1 episode, maybe 2, we'll see. We have about 3 hours until we need to like do other stuff. Because it's also Final Fantasy XIV patch day, so busy. Right, before we start, we want to mention something fun. Apparently our first Alan Wake stream has been blocked. Taken, thank you. That's the name of the second chapter. Or episode, sorry. Our video has been blocked in Russia because of copyrighted music. We had a feeling this would happen. We didn't know it would happen in Russia, and only in Russia so far. Let's hope it stays that way. But yeah, oh well. Let's go.
Previously on Alan Wake, Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good girl.
How the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent Nightingale.
FBI?
He's anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks? Name's Randolph. I'm
Why were we looking up here?
We're looking for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose. Sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As
Oh,
I
no.
was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy.
It's the video game problem.
Mysterious deaths, urban legends.
There is a walk button.
and
There is.
get this,
We're still too fast.
takes place around
It's the video game problem.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyway,
Well, Nightingale is the last
by a
name.
guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
We made a thread about this on Twitter like a week or two ago. The whole walking at a different pace than an NPC issue.
Better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook store. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless or anything.
Yeah, anyway, she knew both Jagger and Zane before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
Yeah, we talked about how this issue of like walking faster than an NPC is actually like it's a problem that makes sense in
Well,
games.
mister, this here's Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
You found something that's ours would be the easy thing to answer, but okay. It basically comes down to like
Welcome to oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh. Oh yes. Yes. Please come in.
it comes down to like
Hey, this is really good.
not sure why we keep talking when we want to
Rose,
be silent during the
my
cutscenes.
manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Al, what's... Oh...
Barry! What? What?
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
I promised I'd come visit you and your lovely wife. You must finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
I felt nauseous, hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Okay. So look here. Medicated in hate. Hard to read the book titles. Anyway, here's what we want to look at. We of course have the Alan Wake books. And once again, they're out of order. Because we highly doubt that the Alex Casey thriller named Alex Casey wasn't the first one. Guess they just had like a finished object of them out of order. God, the upper left one looked so silly. Anyway, yeah, so what we were talking about in the thread was like the reason it's so different to...
I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road. Barry was out of it. He was way too heavy to carry.
You're right. I deserve more money. I'm so handsome.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there. Would you like to hear today's specials? Thank you. A nice day. Come back soon.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Okay, now we should be able to talk. But the main issue is like people always complain, right? That like an NPC walking at a different pace than the player, and it makes them hard to follow. Some games you get around this by having an adjustable walk speed if you play on a controller, but generally it's the issue that like running is too fast, walking is either too slow or still too fast. Now some games have the ability to like adjust your speed based on the character you're walking around, but this can be very inconsistent. And another way to do it is games which just lock you onto the path of the NPC and you follow. Shenmue does this, Final Fantasy does this if you do / follow in Final Fantasy XIV. But overall, the general movement speed is different. And the reason for this is basically one, like the player has to move at a pace that feels good to play at, but an NPC has to move at a way that looks good to watch them move at, and those are often two different speeds.
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's
We don't need to listen to this.
nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep.
Another coffee thermos here, though. Let's pick that up. But yeah, it's a tricky issue because like people will say, "Oh, why aren't people just doing this?" Like Cyberpunk has the player adjust speed, but it's probably more complicated than that. NPC might not even be using the same like general like coding for movement as the player does. Where was the way out? We missed it. Oh, it was here. Alan's stamina is so ridiculously bad.
Oh, you're gonna get it now. God knows what you've done to that poor girl.
This is Agent Nightingale, FBI! Get him up, Hemingway! You're under arrest! You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face! Stay right where you are, Spillane!
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac!
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kid.
This is the chapter we thought the last chapter was. Remember this part. Oh, god damn it. Ah, fuck. We don't actually remember like how finicky this is. If you can get caught or not.
Oh, damn.
Sometimes we do wish this game had a visible stamina meter, because like it runs so little and it's so difficult to not run all the time. Like, or rather, to not try and run all the time. Did we not read about this, by the way? Randolph cosplayed Dark Presence Sleeps. Maybe not.
Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station. For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
Guess the whole FBI shows up thing wasn't mentioned there. Oh, a car! Oh, you thought maybe there would be a gun or something inside, but it probably fell out. Is it 45 minutes reading? Wow, really? We didn't think it was that long. We got all the manuscripts on our 360 version, but yeah. You excited for Alan Wake 2 then, SJ? Maybe you've played Control. We haven't, for reference. We keep meaning to, but initially we didn't have a console for it, and it was an Epic Game Store exclusive, and we don't like using the Epic Game Store. We avoid it as much as possible. Even more so now. We just never got around to playing it.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
Yeah, you can't play the Control DLC without playing the main game, right? Otherwise we might have added it to this month's playthrough. Yeah, we haven't watched too much of it. We only saw like one presentation so far, but it looks cool. It looks even more horror focused, which we like. I said this last stream, but some people don't consider Alan Wake 1 a horror game. We disagree with that, but we can see why they would think it isn't.
This is James. Mulligan Thornton, come in. Over. Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody.
Fucking PowerShell popping up and pausing our game.
I could see the lights of the radio station in the distance.
Yeah, we haven't been to the radio station yet, right? That's where we go now. For some reason we thought that's where we ended chapter 1, but no. That was a gas station.
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Yeah, I guess we didn't do... Oh no! Okay, we didn't do this stream. We're gonna show off for SJs and other people who might not have seen the first stream. We have our Halloween decorations up. We have a skeleton, have Blowhigh wearing a mask, have a spooky lamp there lighting up, but it's barely visible. So that's fun.
Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light.
We just hope it's not too prestige gamey, you know. We talked about this a lot in the first game. We love how video gamey this game is, you know. Like, it's so unashamed of being a video game. It's great.
Generator conked out. I'd have to see if I could fix
What?
it and try again.
We literally just did. Love how every lamp in the Alan Wake universe comes with a built-in boost feature.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
You go longer here without a gun than we remembered. Whoa! We can make it. We cannot make it. We can. Oh, come on! Ooh! Alan Lit.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine.
Is there really no revolver here?
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, a helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots?
Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door and they're popping off guns there.
They're still shooting?
No, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
Well, I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Third night in a row where people just shooting wildly in the night. You know, this isn't where the checkpoint is pointing us. We thought maybe there would be a stash or something there. Wow. No, we should actually throw the flashbang into people instead of just on the ground. We're treating them like the flares. Flashbangs are better than that. Okay. Oh, we want to go up here. Or do we? No, maybe not actually. Seems to be nothing here. Sometimes we wish this game had a little bit more of a map than just this odd little compass. It's very difficult to see the path sometimes. Oh! Where's the arrow pointing? Where is this arrow pointing? We see another one? There. Oh, hello. God damn it! It's so difficult to dodge in this game. We said that last stream as well, but like it's ridiculous just how difficult it is to just run. The running and dodging should not have been the same ability. That's something we really hope is different in 2. Wait, what was it? Ah, fuck! We already lost track of.
KBFFM with Pat Maine.
Yeah, we haven't, like, we played this game several times, but like we haven't played it since like 2014 or something. The last time we played through it, so we do not remember things like where the chests are. It was over here, wasn't it? Yeah, it must be in here. Walk-in light, thank you. Oh, yes, checkpoint! Or not? Whatever. Well, flare wasn't quite what we wanted, but something. Oh, we got a checkpoint, nice. This game is so good at building atmosphere, by the way. Like the way this game utilizes its like strange, unrealistic, shadowy fog is just so fucking iconic. Like it looks great. Reminds us that we really hope the new Silent Hill game, and we don't mean the Silent Hill 2 remake, we mean the actual new one. We really hope that it's good, because like...
Thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna. Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in, folks. I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
Come on in, Mr. Wake. Oh, I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt her.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Yeah, Silent Hill F. Hello, Louise. We really want Silent Hill F to be good.
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine.
Like, I will be honest, we're not super confident in Silent Hill F. A lot of people have pointed to the fact that 07, Ryukishi 07 is writing it as a good thing, and like, yeah, that's cool, but like, the rest of the dev team is, like, we forget what they're called. We looked up like what games they've made, and yeah, it didn't bring too much confidence. To be fair, doesn't necessarily mean anything. You know, every company has to get their first good game. It's not always the first game you make, and of course, different genres and different tastes and all that stuff. But yeah, I think it's pretty funny that like people are talking about how it's a return to Japanese developed Silent Hill, and it's like, it's not. It has one Japanese writer.
Tell Maine where I was going. I have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine.
If that counts, then there were Japanese people involved in almost all Silent Hill games, so you know. Maybe actually all of them. Oh, come on. Fucking Dead by Daylight, that's bullshit. Ah! Not gonna risk it. That's not what we were saying, SJ, at all. The American titles were fine. And like buggy and unstable, sorry, have you played Silent Hill 4? Like, the Japanese games were not exactly technical marvels. As we were saying, Silent Hill F is also not a Japanese developed game. People are treating it like one. It's really silly. That's what we were actually saying.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Yeah, we also play all of them. We think Shadow Memories is the best Silent Hill game ever made, so like... You know? Well, they don't want. Yeah, they don't want you to kill anyone who isn't like who isn't a Taken. That's the thing. They can't give you a gun earlier, because then you can fire against cops. In light, you can hurt them. Yeah, we know. No. Oh, hello. That seems like a thing we can reach. Or it's something we will reach to go around. Are we down here? Hmm. Resident Evil 5 is still probably our favorite co-op game, honestly. Like, that game is so fucking fun to play.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. Alan. I'm so afraid. He keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
I really want to play Shadow Memories again. Maybe we should stream that actually this month. Well, we kind of like to play Silent Hill 1 if we're gonna play Shadow Memories as well.
Been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
We love Silent Hill Shadow Memories, but we do wish that the Climax had gone to develop the original game instead. If you don't know, Shadow Memories was pitched as a game called Silent Hill Cold Breath or something like that. Like it was definitely a name that needed workshopping, but like it was going to be an original game, original sequel rather, and the concept of like the icy other world and all that stuff was from that. Cold Heart. It was Cold Heart. But then Konami was like, no, we want to do a Silent Hill 1 remake. Can you make this game into a Silent Hill 1 remake instead? And that's literally how it went. It wasn't, Climax didn't want to do a Silent Hill 1 reimagining. But that's what Konami, that's the only thing Konami wanted them to do. But they reworked Cold Heart into Shattered Memories. And again, we think Shattered Memories is the best Silent Hill game. Like, that game is fucking brilliant. But, like, we think it would have been much better if it had been an original game. Especially because then you wouldn't have the people comparing them. Because, like, Silent Hill 1, like, yes, technically, it's a remake of Silent Hill 1. But not really, you know? Like, it starts the same way. And that's it. In fact, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, we suppose, but like, we always view it as a sequel. Because Silent Hill 1 was one of the only Silent Hill games to have an ending canonized. And it's something we hated. We talked about this last stream, we think, how like Silent Hill 3 is a game that that kind of bugs us. And one of the reasons for that is because Silent Hill 3 canonizes the quote-unquote happy ending of Silent Hill 1. And nothing against that ending, preference, but we don't think it should have been canonized. We don't like it when a game has multiple endings, and like none of them are presented as the real one, and then later on people go, actually, now this is the real one. You know? We don't like that. We think that's bad. We think it takes away from the game experience. We think it makes the game worse in retrospect. Fuck! But Silent Hill Shattered Memories works as a sequel to the sad ending of Silent Hill 1. So now both games. What the fuck was that? Yeah, so now both games kind of have their own, like, little sequel. Like, so both endings can be canon again. And we think that's really neat. We think that's cool. And yes, technically there's more than 2 endings, Silent Hill 1, but there's only, like, 2 outcomes that, like, matter. That, like, affect which game can be canon afterwards. We think that's pretty good. Like that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna make a game have multiple endings, then either commit to it, or rather, you should commit to it. Like if you have an intended good ending, this is the true ending from the start. Fine. But then you should also make that clear. That's one of those cases where like true ending should be a thing you call something.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The
heavy duty flashlight.
Anything, and it was getting closer.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, right. What? Okay. Yeah, but like if you make a game with like a vague, various endings, and none of them are clarified as the real ending in the original game, you should not make a sequel where you then clarify one ending as the game. Like either don't bring it up at all, or somehow write it so that the ending is vague and never specified. You know? Yeah, like Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog has a true ending, you know? And it's like explicitly that. Yeah, we talked about the whole thing with like us not being fans of people like later on labeling endings as true or false or good and bad when we did our Armored Core stream. Because we got the ending that people are calling the bad ending. And as a result, people are treating it as the false ending. As far as we know, Armored Core never canonizes their endings, so that's good. But yeah. Night Springs time.
Existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a family occasion. Journalist Alvin Derleth's trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Derleth, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition, but you have demonstrated the seriousness of your intent.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay out of your way and observe.
Actually, I thought you could assist us. I'm afraid we are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really? Of course, Mr. Derleth. Well, I guess that's the least what would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
They're so poorly shot. It's amazing.
Oh, Mr. Derleth, you have well pleased Nixie Perka, the dweller in flesh. Your body shall host his 1,000 young, and all shall be glory. Shh, darling, be calm. Shh.
Alvin Derleth learned a harsh lesson. If you go looking for mythology, it may come looking for you. And such quests always bear fruit.
Like all the Dutch angles, the handheld camera, the super close-ups, like, God, it's literally like watching like not even like a bad student film doesn't need to sum it up. It's just like it's like most student films have better blocking of shots than Night Springs does. Boss fight! Ouch. We're pretty sure it's intentionally bad. Like, we're pretty sure it's just like the people at Remedy just shooting it in their office. Like, it's... What? Ah. Oh. The cooldown between animations is something that is much clunkier in this game than it probably looks a lot of the time. Like we hit the like flare button, but because we were in a state of animation that doesn't allow you to use the flare, it just didn't drop here. I'm really hoping it's gonna get a flashbang there, but no. Twisted Metal Black is the PSP one. Fuck! That was the one that tried to get all gritty and serious. Ugh. What? Yeah, our favorite Silent Hill games are Shattered Memories 1 and 2. After that, it gets way more difficult because we like and dislike all of the other ones for different reasons, you know?
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine. The coal mine wasn't far now.
Head on the PSP one. It was the PSP one, right?
I would meet the kidnapper.
There we go.
And he'd give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
This game is really pretty in sunlight, which makes it a little bit of a shame that the game takes place mostly at night. You know, look at this. This is gorgeous.
Little by little, without realizing it, I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current of its narrative had taken me deeper and deeper into dark waters. Alice had been taken from me. Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI. The whole world taken over by the Dark Presence was trying to destroy me. It all felt real, but it matched a textbook case of insanity.
It's like all the big PSP games eventually got a PS2 port, right? Well, pretty much all. Like Silent Hill Origins got ported to the PS2, and Armored Core Formula Front ported to the PS2. Why is this here? It was definitely the other ones that we can't think of right now. Also, oh yeah, the GTA games got ported to the PS2. Very few games got ported from the PSP to other systems. Like a lot of PSP exclusives were only available on PSP and PS2 and then never anywhere else. What if Konami is ever gonna... What if Konami is gonna be bothered to like make a new Silent Hill collection? Like, they're doing it with Metal Gear now. And it's gonna be multiple volumes, so like MGS4 is finally gonna leave the PS3 prison, for example. And that's cool. We know this. We know they have the problem of not having the source code for Silent Hill 2, but like, as bad as the HD collection was, it could have been worse. No. Origins is pretty fun. Like, Origins' biggest problem is that it's a PSP game. And honestly, the weapon durability kind of sucks as well. Downpour. Oh, we forgot about Downpour. We should have included that in our favorites. We love Downpour. That's a game that does. Yeah, but this gets to what we were about to say. We really hope that they re-release all the Silent Hill games, because like, right now none of them are available. You know, like, Downpour didn't even get a PC port for some reason.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble. I'm pretty sure you're not the bad guy here. Godspeed, son. I hope you know what you're doing. Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning. But first, little music.
Batman's good. But yeah, like, we really hope that we do get some kind of legacy collection for Silent Hill. Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, obviously people like those, but like, fuck, we like Homecoming. Like, Homecoming is... We talked about this last stream, but like, which is becoming the theme of this stream, isn't it? We talked about this last stream. But like, Silent Hill Homecoming is a very rough game. But it's a fascinating game. And like, we 100%ed that game on Xbox. We have all the achievements and like everything. That game is so interesting. Like, its development is super strange, because like, the Silent Hill producer basically had to step in and completely change the game midway through development, because it was going in a very strange direction, which is why the game feels kind of uninspired. that was basically an effort to just rein it in and keep it Silent Hill. Because, like, where it was going into Dragon Ball Z territory. We're talking, like, there was talk about, like, how Joshua and Alyssa were gonna have, like, a fucking super-powered battle above Toluca Lake and stuff. It was ridiculous. Now, this is when it was still called Silent Hill 5, by the way.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it. Well, see, to me that's strange because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic. You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or, heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea. And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh? Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to what's essentially a chance encounter. How is that harsh? Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here. Okay. Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together.
Okay, we're bored now. Sorry, Pat. Yeah, we would love, like, for all the Silent Hill games, and we really mean all of them, we could re-release. If they can't do it in one, we were about to say if they can't do it in one collection, they can do it in two. We do wonder if that's gonna hurt them though, because, like, let's face it, a lot of people aren't like us and would not want to buy the later day Silent Hill games again. We would. But at the same time, Capcom put out the Mega Man X Legacy Collection Volume 2, and that was, like, maybe one game in there is one that people like, but mostly was games people do not care for, and that still did okay. So we think people just want old games to be accessible and are willing to buy them again. But yeah, like Origins, Homecoming, Shadow Memories, and Downpour. Fucking put those in a collection. Or put them all in a collection. Why not? Like, I mean, it wouldn't cost you. We can't say it would cost you nothing, because it wouldn't. Especially, like, the ones that would need brand new ports, of course. But, like, we can't imagine it would cost more than they would make, you know? And there's so many studios now that, like, specialize in restoring old games in, like, really good ways. Downpour was better accepted, but it was also, like, it was too late. It was too late. People have already gone really cynical about Silent Hill. Pretty sure that the Japanese release got cancelled or something.
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Yeah, the mobile games are odd. There was like a trilogy of point-and-click adventure games. I think the first one has been ported, like, by fans and is playable on Windows. We don't know if all three are. They were okay. They were okay. Mobile games are trickier to, like, at all make playable on modern systems because, like, they didn't even look good at the time, for starters, and, like, they didn't control well for the time either. But even worse when you, like, map it to a controller. Really think Homecoming's the best, really, huh?
I didn't want to go outside.
That's actually a pretty unusual opinion. People generally think that's the worst one. We don't, for reference. We think the worst one is probably Origins.
Different scenarios ran
but
through my mind.
yeah.
Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back, or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Where the hell are you? Change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around by
You
you.
want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah! I'm gonna kill him! I had to get to Mirror Peak.
To be fair, they weren't all American titles either. Some of them were developed in Europe.
It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
Wait. Where are we going? Wait, seriously, where are we going? Quake sounding voice clip. Yeah, Climax was... That's pretty stupid, right? The and they did Origins and Shattered Memories, and Double Helix made Homecoming. And Way Forward made Book of Memories. Who did Downpour? I genuinely don't remember who made Downpour now. I think it was also a European studio, but we can't say for sure. Anyway, Silent Hill F is made by a Korean studio, we think. The developer of the Resident Evil multiplayer game, the two most recent ones. Not Umbrella Corps, but what are they called? Reverse and Resistance. I really don't like The Room. Like, we think the game is really cool in concept. The execution just sucks. Oh, these shadow items are items. These shadow objects are frustrating. We forget if they have a name. We always call them poltergeists. We don't know if that's actually what they're called. If we just call them that. Darkness tornado.
The only way to reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
We still think it's a shame that MJ Bassett turned out to not make a very good Silent Hill movie. We don't know. MJ Bassett, she's the director of the second Silent Hill movie, Silent Hill Revelations. And like, the thing for us is that we watched another movie she made, another horror movie she made called Death Watch? I think that's what it's called. And like, that was made years earlier, like much earlier. And we watched that and was like, damn, this person needs to make a Silent Hill movie. They're the perfect pick. And then she got to make one. And it sucked. And it's like, god damn it. For once our like dream pick for a director for something happened and it turned out bad. You know what? Kill us. We feel like we wasted those flares anyway. Yeah, MJ Bassett, if you don't know, is also a trans woman. Want to say she's Finnish? But now we're not sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to use at least one. Maybe the flashbang maybe be better. The first movie is excellent, we would say even. But also, that's not what the Bechdel test is about. There's nothing about the Bechdel test that suggests this makes it a feminist movie. That's never what it's been. A Bechdel test is simply, will this movie annoy lesbians or not? That's literally what it was for. It was a thing that Bechdel made up because like it was annoying going to the cinema as a lesbian because women only talked about men. And then it got co-opted and misinterpreted and all sorts of things. We might actually have to use everything here. It's just gonna keep throwing things out of stuff like this. Oh, come on! We would, however, argue that the first Silent Hill movie is not feminist. because because feminism is not just about women, of course, and the reason that the film is about Rose da Silva instead of Harry Mason is literally because the director Christoph Gans was like, well, Harry acts too motherly. It should be a mother instead. And it's like, no? What? What the fuck? What kind of mindset is that? Yeah, we would actually argue that the film is not feminist. But it's still very good. Come on, why is the big guy stuck now? A movie where the men only talk about women. Okay, that's easy. Porky's. Pretty much any frat boy, focused movie. Oh, come on. Actually, now since we've already cleared them, we might as well check the shelves over here. Trust no one in the dark. Yes, we know. We know. We know wanna be alone in the dark. Leisure to Larry. Fuck, does Larry even talk to other men though? There's a gay guy you can talk to in Larry 6. I guess that counts. We've been meaning to do a video on like the unfortunate queerphobic, but mostly transphobic depictions in Leisure Suit Larry, because we grew up playing those games. They were very influential for us as like an adventure game player, you know? And like at least 2 of the games feature Ace Ventura style takes on trans people. That is to say, Larry accidentally sleeps with one and feels violated and barfs a lot.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
Of course, he doesn't actually accidentally sleep with one. He sleeps with one, then decides afterwards it was bad, you know. But that's the thing. That's just the thing. That's the thing, though. You have to understand. That was like a very common depiction of trans people at the time. At the time here, meaning 1993? We think that's when Larry 6 came out. A little worse, or rather, worse might be the wrong word, but like less excusable for its time is that it also happens in Magna Cum Laude from 2004. But yeah, it sucks. Yeah, a more recent example would be The Hangover 2. That film isn't that old, you say, feeling old when we say it. And it also has the same kind of gag. Family Guy is a famous example of it as well, where Seth MacFarlane like defended it. Well, we have flashbangs? We forgot we had flashbangs. Why are we wasting our ammo? Like Seth MacFarlane like defended it like as like he didn't understand why trans people didn't like it. It was really absurd. Yeah, yeah, it happens in the Konosuba movie. Not surprised though, Konosuba sucks. But yeah. Konosuba is just every single bad thing about anime, but it gets away with it even more than usual because it's under the veneer of like, oh, we're a parody show. Can't stand it. Ah, fuck. Let's read some manuscript at the next spotlight, shall we? Can't run. Yeah, we've hated Konosuba since literally the day the first episode aired. We watched it. We were excited for it. And yeah, we hated it. And it was like, oh, it's so funny. It's making fun of all these tropes. And it's like, no, it's just doing the tropes. Like, it's literally just doing the same tropes. And you have decided it's okay because it's this show. Like, the fuck? It's also like, we talked about this before, but like, this is not exclusive to anime or Japanese media. And we want to preface by saying that because people often take, when you talk about media in this way, people often take it as like a specific to this media kind of issue, and it's not. But a very common problem with Japanese media when it comes to characters that are bad people is that they basically do this thing where like, it's like, oh, it's okay that our main character is a complete awful person because he also gets bad things that happen to him sometimes. It's like, oh, it's okay that he sexually assaults someone because, oh, he gets slapped afterwards, or oh, he gets in trouble afterwards. And it's like, you're not actually like condemning anything he's doing. You're just like allowing the audience to see and indulge in the same stuff as he is, and then only punishing him to make the audience feel better, even though they don't have to be punished for it. You know? Like, it's such a fake way of like making it okay, rather than just have a character that actually learns something and changes. And it's like, well, it wouldn't be funny if he got better. And it's like, well, so you admit that you do think it's funny, you just see people get harassed or mistreated. Like, okay, cool. I mean, if you find that funny, good for you. I generally don't. I find it gross and frustrating. And I can't imagine that like the people making it aren't aware of this, because if they weren't, they wouldn't have the character get a slap on the wrist every time it happens, you know? And Konosuba is like the epitome of this. Like, it's like that's its entire approach to what's his name? Kazuma. It's just like, well, you know, he gets into trouble all the time, so we're not really advocating for his behavior because no one likes him and he gets into trouble. It's like bullshit. Not to mention he fucking ends up with a girlfriend in the end. Spoilers for Konosuba. He literally like just fails upwards and succeeds and never have to change. And he just becomes a worse person over and over, you know? Yeah, exactly. The punishment is also a gag. It's like, it's not serious. So like, why should we take a serious condemnment of his actions?
Was it going for Alice?
And this is very common in like anime aimed at straight men, but it's also common in just like any kind of like comedy aimed at straight men. Not exclusively. Again, the issue will arise in comedy made by women, for women and such as well, and like... But in terms of the typical things, that's it. But yeah, really don't like Konosuba. Like, that's a big one for us that we just find gross and like genuinely like a red flag when someone talks about liking it for us. That's not to say it didn't have moments to it that we did like. We watched the whole first season.
The place was dead, a ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
But like, there's so much better shit to watch, you know? Or read. At some point you just have to realize that like you are wasting your time by like just checking out better things. And that's kind of where we have arrived in general with media. We have far less patience now than we used to with stuff that pisses us off or annoys us. Because it's always like, well, there's always more stuff. You know? If we don't enjoy something, just go for something else. It's not really a harem anime, honestly, but like... Yeah. That's the thing too, like, people talk about like... Because like, this is a big problem in isekai anime in general. Isekai stories in general. And for anyone who might not know, isekai refers to a new world. It's about someone who travels to a new world. In the modern version of it often involves someone dying and reincarnating into a new world, but that is not required. That's not what it means. In the case of Konosuba, yes, that's what it is, but that's not required. In fact, a lot of classic isekai have like back and forth travel between portals and stuff like that. But yeah. And there's like there's like a deeper reason for this. It comes down a lot to like how much of it stems from like self-published web novels that like speak to a certain demographic of online dwellers, and as a result draws a lot from their traits, which unfortunately leads to a lot of incel baiting or incel catering. Again, not exclusive to Japan, not by any means at all, but that is part of it. Oh yeah, those are two. Well, is Redo of Healer an isekai? Isn't Redo just a fantasy story? But anyway, you're right. Yeah, no, Konosuba is far from the worst. But yeah, when the Konosuba movie hit and people were like, there's some really transphobic shit in there, we were like, yeah, no, that tracks. That's like the least surprising thing about that series we've ever heard. That's not really isekai though. If it's the same world, it's not isekai. Like isekai is literally different world. That's what it means.
Anything outside of writing is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one.
Ascension of a Bookworm. Yes, it's excellent, Louise. That's a really good one.
Using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
We switched to a hunting rifle. We kind of like the shotgun, but no, let's keep the shotgun. Yeah, Ascendance of a Bookworm is like one of the best isekai stories ever. It is so ridiculously good. It avoids all the bad tropes. It's like it even does proper commentary on some of the bad tropes. Like commentary, not we're just gonna do them and then pretend we're better than them.
The kidnapper had sent me a text.
Great stuff.
The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry up. Birds.
They're keeping their distance. But for how long? We need to start the anime again, by the way. Like, a bunch of shows have started now. Like, for this season. I'm in Love with the Villainous. Speaking of isekai, as a lesbian one. That one started, like, yesterday or 2 days ago. And Shy. Probably our favorite, like, superhero manga ever. Shy. Also got its anime adaptation. Starting like yesterday. What else do we have this month? We have Hoshikatsu Telepath, is that this month? Tunnel goes to Cauldron Lake, thank you. Another one. Which one are we missing? There's another one that's like explicitly gay missing. Also this month.
Without warning, the headache stabbed at my brain.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s.
Alice?
Did we go the right way? This is annoying. It's like we were going the wrong way, so we could find secrets.
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here.
Okay, no, this is not railway. Good. You know, without getting too much into it, you could maybe argue Alan Wake is in this guy. That's a very, very rough argument, and it does not hold much water. But like, you could technically try and argue it based on a thing that has been mentioned but not made clear yet in the game. Namely, the existence of something called the Dark Place. Oh, come on. We really hate when they like focus on one enemy like that and then put other ones behind you. Like, how are we supposed to notice the ones behind us if you just show one in a big like cinematic moment? Yeah, we read and watched all of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And we tried watching GX and did not like it. We tried watching 5D, we did not like it. We watched... What's the next one? Zexal? Didn't like it. Wait, which one was Zexal actually? Was that the one with like the like sort of like circus theme to the cards? We did like that. That was pretty fun. But seriously? We weren't even out of the cutscene yet, for fuck's sake. Oh god, V-Rains, right. Right.
I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that.
This seems dangerous. Oh, fine. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, okay, we see. Some nice little puzzle. Simple, but fun. This area feels very Resident Evil 4 and 5, actually. Wait, is this the right way? God damn it, why was it like this? Whoa! Yeah, maybe we should read some manuscripts. We have so many to read. Damn. There's so many to read.
Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. "Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you?" Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation. Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole. He felt wrong, and it wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say. pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again. I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my face. It was all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me. The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below. With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good. When Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened fast. She was young, vibrant, and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse. Some of the Taken retained echoes of their former selves, but these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the dark presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him. I stared through the bars of the jail cell. Barry stood behind me, swaying on his feet, looking as ill as I felt. Agent Nightingale stood on the other side of the bars with Sheriff Breaker. Nightingale had a stack of manuscript pages in his hand. He seemed unhinged as he gloated. Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here, all the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent. Things were never as simple in real life as in fiction. I had lost count of the times I had wished there'd be a clear reason for my writer's block. Something to fight, something to lash out on. There wasn't. I was filled with doubt. I was nothing like the hero in my books. Alex Casey had gone through his life with single-minded determination, never wavering from his goal. Even now, I was angry at myself, angry at Alice, angry at Barry. I was fumbling and I had no plan. Even behind the closed doors and curtains of his grimy room at the Majestic, the local motel, Nightingale could feel the locals' eyes on him, the unrelenting pressure of their judgment. He forced it out of his mind. For all he knew, they could all be under Wake's spell already. You do what you have to do to get the job done. He took comfort from the bottle in his hand. Please, he thought, just let me get through this. For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special, but Mott hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw. Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much. The hunters were big, thick-set men, confident and at home in the woods. They were feeling good, running on beer, ghost stories, and camaraderie late into the night. It did them no good, as they were taken by the dark presence, sucked deep into a darkness far worse than any ghost story they ever told or heard. Lightning flashed behind the windows of Cauldron Lake Lodge. Tor Anderson laughed and held the steel hammer above his head. Nurse Sinclair was trying to calm him down without success. Tor grinned madly and shouted, "My hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Molnir, wench." He brought the hammer down with all his might on Sinclair's head. We're on a comeback tour, baby.
Thor and Odin are awesome.
Oh, great. Another cable car. Just great.
Can't be that much left of the episode. We will probably call it after this episode. We'll do one per team now, because they are longer. The episodes have gotten longer. That was a waste. Ah, fuck. Whoa! Hello.
Shit.
Fuck. Nope. Thought there might be a thermos here, but it's not. Where was the stash here? Where was it? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think we're gonna play around midnight. We're gonna check after we finish this episode to see if any plans have changed, but we think that's. Also, we're thinking we will do one more Alan Wake stream this week, and we'll try to fit another game in between them. That's the current plan. So, like, another game tomorrow, and then Alan Wake again on Thursday. And then we will be away from Friday to Sunday, so won't be able to stream then. But, fuck, we did it again! We forgot to check about potential secrets before we walked past the thing that blocks us out. Oh well. CN and Thomas Zane. What is CN? Tom, I missed you, Tom. Tom, I missed you. Did you write this? Tom. We don't remember this. You talk to me on TV, Tom. It's so long since we played this. No, not Vampire Survivors. We prefer playing like we said, this is a horror month, but we prefer playing games with like more of a story to them. Like, it might be the Resident Evil HD remaster. We're looking at that. Like, not Resident Evil HD remaster. We played that last year. It's already up on the as a wall on this channel. No, but there's a fan-made HD remaster of the 1996 Resident Evil, which looks really cool. Maybe that. Maybe we'll do Silent Hill, or we're probably gonna delay Morpheus. We looked into streaming that, and we want to see if we can maybe get it to play a little better than the one we have. For fuck's sake. No, fuck him. Whoa, that was longer than we meant to jump. Bullshit. That was not fair. What? Come on. How are we supposed to know we weren't allowed to jump off the edge there? It looked very jumpable. We should have gotten the hunting rifle anyway. Well, too late now. Maybe there's a way to survive this part. If you like stick to the edge. No. Probably not. No. Ooh! What's it called? Is it, are you talking about the fan remake? Moon Ring. Oh, so it's not like actually Ultima 4. Okay. Might look into that, yeah. Haven't heard of it. If it's like Ultima, we're very interested. Oh, we haven't played an Ultima game in fucking forever. Actually, yeah, since Ultima Forever. That piece of shit. To be fair to the Ultima Forever devs, which were Mythic, the game could have been fine. If it wasn't made as a free-to-play mobile game, it probably could have been fine. Unfortunately, it was made as a free-to-play mobile game, and it was garbage.
I was close now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find.
Wait! Are you? Wait! Hey, I'm here! I'm coming! No! Get away! Sorry. Please, it's late. The boss didn't know who he was messing with. I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know. We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is. She's probably drowned. We just said we had her to make him play ball. You see? They got him writing for us. Please! Please! Oh!
That tornado's carrying a man. This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. Now another song starts instead. We missed some manuscripts to read, but we can do that at the start of episode 4. Yeah, so that's episode 3 of Alan Wake. We'll see. Maybe we can do more than one episode next stream. We do think these are good lengths. You know. So there might be a stream of something else tomorrow. But we're gonna try to get at least one more Alan Wake stream in this week before we leave. And then we're thinking we will finish Alan Wake probably next week, so maybe we can do longer streams there or something. We do want to play the DLC as well. The DLC is probably only one stream for both DLCs, so not very long. But yeah. Now we're gonna do this, and then... Oh, wait, we can read the manuscripts right away. Cool. Let's do that now, then.
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn, but there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy. I tried to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period. Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now.
Was there anyone that we missed reading yesterday? No, I don't think so. Yeah. Anyway, episode 4, The Truth, will be the next one. Please look forward to that. We would like to say thank you to our wonderful supporters. So we have Yus, Luz Queen, Garden, Miss Nixie, Balsette, Michael Rosenblum, Moto, Harahase, Anna, John Peterson, Spider Rebel News, S.J. Winchester, Saga Music, Kit Stubbs, Rumray, Benjamin Schmidt, Rain, Cleody, and Ahmed G. Several of you were in the chat today. That's awesome to see. Thank you so much. If you want to support us in any way whatsoever, we have a Patreon, a Ko-fi, a PayPal. Links are on screen and in the description, and it really helps. This month in particular is pretty ridiculous because we may have scheduled way too much to do this month and have way too many costs this month, but we are doing what we can. Yeah, see you next stream. Have a great October, and bye.